I would now like to open the floor to questions from the audience for any one of our presenters today. Don't be shy. They are ready to answer any question you might have. Sure.
I'd like to ask the UTA how it selects woods.
Yeah, the question was how do you select woods?
I have, yes, that is very important to the wood selection and seasoning of the wood. And I have special wood suppliers located in Canada, United States, even in Africa and South America. It all depends what kind of wood. The soundboard, the face of the guitar, usually comes from Canada, the western red cedar. The spruce tops are very good from Bavaria, Germany, Cremona, Italy, and California as well.
Thank you.
Sure. Another question, since we've broken the ice, yes.
Well, good afternoon. This question is for Annetta. I live in Astoria, and I'm very plugged into the local community. And Astoria is experiencing the same issues as the public spaces are, experiencing around New York City, and that is there's less and less of them. And there's only few places that remain public and that remain accessible. And I was hoping that there's some kind of a guidance within the city that maybe you can propose, or maybe you can even work on a little brochure that could be distributed to the local community boards. Be like, hey, please don't lose the public spaces because. And in recent years, we are experiencing a revival of the places in New York that are on the shore. I don't know if you have noticed, guys, but you can take a ferry around New York, and I have actually a friend who designed how the ferries are going around the city. But the developers are grabbing all the spots they can, and there's a lot of money flow to get the community boards to give the spaces for sale. And how can we prevent that? That's a loaded question, isn't it? Yeah.
You can read my thesis then.
Oh, wonderful. Perfect.
It's really complex, and first of all, I'm super happy that there are people noticing those stuff, and I think that's the first very important step to create communities and became part of it's like an active citizenship, to say, because we have to practice our right to the city, as was outlined already in 80s, but still under the veil of capitalism, we are kind of now living in that shrinking public spaces, which prevent us from practicing our rights to public freedom, that one we can gain only as a part of a public. So then it's again this social capital, which is really hard to advocate for, right? Because you cannot monetize it. Where's the money? When you sell the port or the seashore, you get something, but when you get it into community, oh, nice, you have community garden, but what's for that? So it's really, it's a structural problem, and we have to start to rebuilding the whole structures. But thank you for pointing this manual to write. That's really a good idea to make some shortened version of my thesis. But we have some back in Czech Republic, and I can maybe share it with you later. Thank you very much for the question.
We could use a practical guide for how to use that megaphone, right? Other questions for any of our speakers with their very diverse topics? One in the back here.
Thank you. So all of these presentations were wonderful, so I would like to ask everybody about something. But I have a question for Pavel. Because it seems like one shouldn't really be too focused on what one wants to do, because the fate really will lead him to so many interesting things. I was wondering how much of what you do is part of what is called zlaté české ručičky, because a lot of what you do seems to have to be skilled, and how much of it is your artistic drive, or how much you could do one without the other, if you could speak about that.
Yeah, thank you for your questions. I didn't think about that answering about questions. So it's mainly focused, as you said, the Zlaté české ručičky, gold hands. It's born with my father's, because he don't have this gold hands. Yeah, and he every time try to hire somebody who will do this, and he don't need to do this. And I hate this process. So it was about that I don't want to pay to somebody to do this. I can make it by myself. So I tried it and I did it also. Yeah? And it was also about that I grew up on the building process. Yeah, because my father built, not by himself, a lot of buildings. So it was about this. And also there is a lot of drive about that. They told me, you don't need to do this or you can't do this. And there was the second thing, which I hate very much. And I try to show them that I can be in New York and do some performance, which I'm doing at now. And yeah, that's it. It was a little bit some revolution in my heart against my father and mother and the other people. Thank you.
Thank you. I think many Czechs who live in the USA actually have that in common, a little bit of revolution and showing others what they can do. So that's just a side note.
Does that put Pavel in the category of the second philosopher then?
I guess this can be for any of you. You all talked about such great projects, and I guess I have some curiosity to know if you ever envision it, and you talk about your local communities that you bring them back to, which is fantastic. But I feel like a lot of this stuff is so pressing to modern times right now. Do you ever envision bringing it to the city that you're currently presently in, like New York, and expanding your projects within the city here? And anyone can answer this that I asked. I kind of just broad-roomed answered.
Yeah, actually that's why we are here, to start like new collaborations and to open the door a little bit more, because I think like Czech Republic, United States, New York, every country, every city has its own like limits, its own rules. Something that goes really easy in Czech Republic goes super hard here, and vice versa. So I think that yeah, basically we want to do collaborations here, but we don't want to like go here and just violently start our own projects. We would prefer to collaborate with people who are here, who understand what the city needs and what people lives here, because we live in Czech Republic, we are based in Czech Republic, so we don't know how like it works here. But yeah, it will be a dream to do something creative here.
Honestly, I just asked because out of curiosity, I think a lot of your projects I feel like could translate very well. So I live on Roosevelt Island, and it's a very weird little town in a great way. Like I say weird in a best way. But it is kind of a collaboration in sense of, you know, just the community and the amount of different cultures that we have. So I think a lot of your projects can really honestly translate in really great ways to modern things now, like escape rooms. Like I see that being in theme parks, and you know, those experiences are almost their escape rooms of their own. So and public spaces just ever so pressing. But yeah.
Maybe one story I will share. We've showed you the Halloween residency we did here. The Halloween residency was about our celebration, or how we celebrate the All Souls Day, which is quite different because we don't have Halloween. Now we do, like kids are taking costumes, and also adults are already like having drink parties with Halloween. But what we show them in this residency is, for example, and a lot of people came to us, and
thank us that we show them how our cemeteries looks like, because we did imitation of our graveyards, of our cemeteries with flowers, and here usually you have the lawn and then just the stone and like no flowers built in like permanently. So a lot of people came to us and they were like, oh, this is so cool, we should do that. Like, we don't like to go cemeteries because they are not that nice, and yours seems awesome. And also we did tasks there where people or kids could write fear, and they could write fear and put it in a bowl, and there were the 3 white creatures, the fairies, and we wrote that the creatures, the fairies can take away the fear. And actually yesterday we received an email from the organizers from Vasek project that one kid from the town wrote thanking letter to the fairies, that the fairies help the kid, 5-year-old girl, to take their his or her nightmares away, which was amazing. And like, this was such a small thing to do. You don't have to do like big projects and big things. Also, you can think about those small like steps or small like rituals and small stuff you can bring. And you know, maybe here in the United States or for example with Halloween, people are really focusing on like kids are getting candies and it's fun. And we show them different way, and they were really like happy to see the new approach. So. Oh, sorry.
Question on either side, or if any of our speakers, can get a little help there.
Hi, this is a question from Mathieu. After your time in New York, do you envision yourself returning to the Czech Republic, or do you think your journey with the cymbal is just beginning?
Thank you for the question. And if I envision the future, I think I would like to have it connecting, like have some time in the Czech Republic to bring back what I learned here and share it with the kids over there, with the community, but also keep up with the projects here, because I believe there's so many cool things that we can do here and explore. So I would like to split it, maybe half and half, maybe thirds, Czech, China, New York, who knows, who knows. Thank you.
I see a question in the back. Maybe we could pass the mic back there.
Hi, I have a question for Aneta. I would be very interested in knowing, how do you make a project like Nábleží happen? Did you just go to the city government, say, I have an idea, and they were very open to it? Like, how does it work?
Thank you for the question. As I said, it kind of stems from our long-term interest of reviving the river and working with the river banks, because maybe as you saw from the picture, what city did, they just put a lot of concrete there. There are almost no benches. You cannot go into the river. There is only one entrance to the river, and we have 2 rivers in my hometown, right? So we built another one, and then we saw illegally, I have to say the most thing we do are in the so-called gray zone, which is something that you can claim as illegal. So then we built one, and then we saw how people start to using it. And it was occupied all year long, and the ice swimmers make their main point, their base point from that pontoon we made. And we're like, wow, people are really into using the river, but they do not know how to do it. So we start to offering really small things, hooks or small opportunities to them to catch them, to become more interested in public spaces. And then Nábleží kind of came out because I and my business partner, or not business, we don't do it for business, it's my free time activity basically, just to clarify that. I don't have any money from it. We went to like different towns in Europe, and you have this like beautiful flea Sunday markets everywhere. We're like, oh, that would be really cool to have it in our hometown. So we just wrote a proposal to the city council, and we didn't ask for much money, only for, became part of the official program, because otherwise you have to pay a lot to use public space, right? I don't know how it's in New York, but when you are part of or if you take some space for your action, you have to pay it per square meter a certain amount, which is not like really low money. And they were like, okay, we agree, but they didn't give us any money. And so we start to do it that people don't have to register and people don't have to pay for being there. It's just like open to everyone. We have only one rule, which is you cannot sell new things, right? Because otherwise it would happen like place of reselling new stuff. So we kind of encourage people, to go down to their sellers, to look what they don't need, and etc., like old books and all those stuff. So it happened like this very slowly, and then we saw that the community already exceeds the spot that was designated for that part. So we kind of start growing. We don't know where, because there is the river and there are like two banks, and we don't have more space. So people started to show up like 3 hours before the event started to kind of fight for their space. And we have two guys coming from different towns. They always bring a lot of beers with them and make it more like a social event. They try to like yell and handle and kind of get the attention from people. And so in that manner, people start to get to know each other. And they're like, oh, you're here, I remember you. And it took like 2 to 3 years, and now it's kind of self-sustainable event, and that's something I'm aiming for, like, because I'm now here, and so the event is still going on, because you get the final kick, and then it's going on its own way. But it needs a time. It's also answer to the question like whether some projects are transferable. I mean, like from the theoretical perspective, yes, that what I'm doing here, it's more like the theoretical research at university, but the practical one, the practical experience with public spaces has to be like woven more carefully, and it need more time to become sustainable. So it's not so easy to just transfer it to another place. Yeah, sorry for taking such a long time.
Thank you for the thorough answer.